A first glimpse of him is shocking because he is like a still photograph, as if all those pictures of him in magazines and newspapers have turned three dimensional. Then you see the head twisted sideways into a slump, the torso shrunk inside the pale blue shirt, the wasted legs. You look at his eyes, which can speak still, and they are saying something huge and urgent. It is hard to tell what, but you are shaken because you have seen something you never thought could be seen. So, in this paragraph, writer Kanga is telling about the vegetative way of Stephen Hawking. He is unable to move, his body is totally still. The movements are just a dream for Stephen Hawking. And it is like he is looking like a still photograph without any movement, and it is just like a three-dimensional figure. Just like the images we are seeing in a magazine, it is the same way. Stephen Hawking is not at all moving, it is like a still photograph, and sometimes you can see his head is twisted sideways into a slump. Slump means that is falling heavily. Sometimes, due to the lack of control, the head will be falling sideways, and the torso means the upper part of the body that is being inside the pale blue shirt means he was wearing a pale blue shirt, and wasted legs means the legs that are not having the ability to move. That is why it is called here as wasted legs. You look at his eyes, which can speak still, and they are saying something huge and urgent. It is hard to tell what. So, his whole body is just vegetative, devoid of movement. But when you're looking at his eyes, it is full of vibrant energy. It is able to speak, and even though it is still, it is able to speak, and it just want to convey some huge and urgent messages. But you're shaken because you have seen something you never thought could be seen. But after seeing all these things, we will be totally shaken. We will be totally outbroken because we have never thought that we will see a person like this. Before you, like a lantern whose walls are worn so thin you glimpse only the light inside, is the incandescence of a man. The body, almost irrelevant, exists only like a case made of shadows, so that I, no believer in eternal souls, know that this is what each of us is, everything else an accessory. So here the writer is comparing Stephen Hawking towards a lantern. Okay. So whenever we are seeing the lantern, the outer shade, the case will be different. But we are just focusing about the inner glow we are getting through the lantern. The same is with Stephen Hawking. His body is useless. It is not having any power, but his inner strength, his mind, his eternal soul is unbelievably strong. That is a thing we all should care about. We should not bother about our bodily features. It is just an accessory, just an additional stuff. No need to think about it, but we should be a person that is having the worth in this world. What do you think is the best thing about being disabled? I asked him earlier. I don't think there is anything good about being disabled. I think I said you to discover how much kindness there is in the world. So here they are having a conversation regarding the worthiness of being disabled. And for Stephen Hawking, he doesn't feel anything good about being disabled. But for Kanga, he thinks that when we are disabled, we can really feel the kindness of this world. Yes, he said, it was a disadvantage of his voice synthesizer that it could convey no inflection, no shades or tone. And I could not tell how enthusiastically he agreed with me. So when Kanga made the statement means when we are disabled, we can actually understand the kindness of this society, of this world. Stephen Hawking also agreed with the statement, and he told very plainly, yes, because he is not making the voice. This speech synthesizer, the voice synthesizer is making the voice. So we can't understand the emotion, the feelings in his voice. and so that Kanga is unable to tell us how enthusiastically means intense enjoyment, how nicely he agreed with my statement, because I can understand just it is made by the machine. Every time I shifted in my chair or turned my wrist to watch the time, I wanted to make every one of our 30 minutes count. I felt a huge relief and acceleration in the possibilities of my body. How little it mattered then that I could never walk or even stand. So, while he was having the conversation with Stephen Hawking, Kanka was always worried about the timing because only 30 minutes are allotted and he just wanted to utilize each and every single moment with Stephen Hawking. And he was feeling a huge relief and acceleration. Acceleration means a thrill, intense thrill. He was totally thrilled with the uh, possibilities of his challenged body, and now it doesn't matter for him even though he is unable to walk or stand. It is a meager thing for him, and he is least bothered about that because he has got the best opportunity to meet the best person in the world, that is Stephen Hawking. I told him how he had been an inspiration beyond cliche for me, and surely for others. Did that thought help him? No, he said, and I thought how foolish I was to ask. When your body is a claustrophobic room and the walls are growing narrower day by day, it doesn't do much good to know that there are people outside smiling with admiration to see you breathing still. So here you are having two new words, that is, they are cliche and claustrophobic. Cliche and claustrophobic. Cliche means it is a common phrase we are using to show the words that are often used unnecessarily and it loses its meaning. That is called a cliche. And claustrophobic means it is a phobia. It is a fear where where we are feeling so much fearful when we are in an enclosed space. Okay, so these are the two words. And now Kanga made a statement that he is totally admired by seeing the life of Stephen Hawking, and he is asking whether anyone else has been admired by you. What was the answer of Stephen Hawking? He clearly said no. And that time only Kanga thought, what a foolish question he asked him. Actually, he is a person whose body is a claustrophobic room. It is an enclosed space, okay? And the walls are growing narrow by day. Narrower day by day means his bodily features are losing its charm day by day. And what is there to know that other people's outsiders are just thrilled about his life? Did he feel good? No. Is there any advice you can give disabled people? Something that might help make life better? They should concentrate on what they are good at. I think things like the disabled Olympics are a waste of time. So now Kanga made a question, asked a question. Do you have any message to give to the public? And what was the message? Stephen Hawking clearly mentioned that just focus on the good things that you're having. Okay, no need to improve the skills you are not having, but what all skills you are having, just improve it. Okay, and he for him this disabled Olympics are just a waste of time. I know what you mean. I remember the years I did spend trying to play a Spanish guitar considerably larger than I was, and how gleefully I had unstringed it one night. So he can relate to it. See, when we want to participate in an Olympics like Special Olympics or Disabled Olympics, the people may not be having that ability, okay, but they are just forcing themselves to achieve something, so it will create lot of mental pressure and physical torture. Likewise, the same thing happened with Kanga. He also tried to play a Spanish guitar, and the size of the guitar was more than him. He was trying very badly, and one fine night, what happened? He happily, gleefully means happily, he unstringed the guitar, means he just took all the strings, he just removed the strings of the guitar. The half hour was up. I think I have annoyed you enough, I said, grinning. Thank you for. So now 3:30 to 4 o'clock, it's the time. Time is up. And now Kanga asked him, have I annoyed you? Annoyed you means have I bothered you? And he was just grinning. Grinning means smiling. Smiling in the sense smiling from ear to ear. Okay. And stay. I waited. Have some tea. I can show you the garden. So when he was about to leave, Stephen Hawking offered him a cup of tea, and he just asked him, let's have a quick walk in the garden. The garden was as big as a park, but Stephen Hawking covered every inch, rumbling along in his motorized wheelchair while I dodged to keep out of the way. So now they are having a stroll on the garden, and the garden was just like a park, and Stephen Hawking was moving in his motorized wheelchair, and he was just rumbling means he was just rolling. And what Kanga was doing, he just dodged means he was just diving to keep out of the way where Stephen Hawking is coming. We couldn't talk very much. The sun made him silent, the letters on his screen disappearing in the glare. So we know when Stephen Hawking wants to convey something, he used to type on the computer screen. But now it is sunset, it is a time of dusk, and the sun was shining so nicely, and the glares were just sparkling on the screen, and he was unable to type anything. So there was no conversation. They were just enjoying the beauty of the garden. An hour later, we were ready to leave. I didn't know what to do. I could not kiss him or cry. I touched his shoulder and wheeled out into the summer evening. So again, after an hour only, he left the place, and he was ready to leave, and he was not aware what to do, how to bid him bye. And he hasn't kissed him or cried, and he just touched his shoulder and wheeled out into the summer evening. I looked back and I knew he was waving, though he wasn't. So in his mind, he was thinking that Stephen Hawking might be waving, but he can't do that because he is unable to move his wrist. Watching him, an embodiment of my bravest self, the one I was moving towards, the one I had believed in for so many years, alone I knew that my journey was over for now. So now this is the best moment that happened in Kanga's life. He had seen his own bravest self. Actually, we can relate both of them alike because they are seen. They both of them are having the same disabilities. So he was totally happy seeing Stephen Hawking, and now he was feeling that his journey is over. He just wanted to explore Britain, and now he felt that his journey is over and he achieved the entire thing in his life. So this is all about the lesson, and I hope you understood the lesson. Thank you.